Okay, so for people who are multi-passionate,
Yeah.
you obviously have a lot of passions, things that you're passionate about, a lot of projects that you're working on, and you have a son.
Yes.
It wasn't until I had my child that I realized that mothers were superheroes.
Ooh.
That the fact that you can do anything
Right.
on top of mothering.
Like even just make a sandwich.
Girl, anything
Right.
on top of mothering. It's like, baby, you did it. You did it today.
Yeah.
How are you able to do all the things, but what is your advice for someone who has a child, has a full-time job, and might be saying to themselves, I just can't do another thing, but that other thing could literally be the key to their freedom?
Time management. You got to maximize when they sleep. You got to maximize when they're at school. Time management is just try to find a really good support system. That's always amazing. And my son is just kind of acclimated to being in those spaces.
He rolls with it.
Yeah, yeah. So charge their tablet.
Listen, who thought they was gonna be the mama that they baby didn't have a tablet? Girl, I can't get that tablet out fast enough. We was at the Cheesecake Factory last time. I'm like, baby, the phone, where is that? Girl, all them rules went right out the window. But you mentioned we don't have to go to college anymore. That's not necessarily a thing. What's your advice for your son in terms of college?
So I started him in basketball camp this week because I was like, if you do go, you will
not pay for it.
It will be on a scholarship. But he understands that, his passion, I'm gonna be behind it. But, he understands, he's like, why don't you sell this house and let's get a bigger one? And, he's already working in the investment, investment. His mind works in investment terms. And so
I love that for you. I love that for him. I love that for us.
Yeah.
That we are just doing it in a way that our kids can see it and naturally do it. Like how fashion naturally came for you.
Yeah.
Ownership is just in him
That's
already.
His thing. Yeah.
I love it.
He talks about it to his friends, and I'm like, don't do that. I don't want to feel braggy. You know what I mean?
Baby, he could be talking about so many other things. Okay, let him talk about something legit.
Yeah.
Something else that I just thought about that stuck out at that class. You talked about, I think the little girl's name was Lily. Was her name Lily?
I still tell that story.
Tell the story again, because that was just such a, not even in my realm, like in the realm of possibility.
That's why I tell it.
Please tell the Lily
That's why
story.
I tell it. And so the prelude is I always ask in every class I do, or even just speaking, what is your definition of financial freedom, right? Because it is relative. But it's also shaped by your own perception and your level of experience and where you've been, what you've seen, etc. And so Lily was a little girl of a different color that it was in Ty's class in first grade. He went to a predominantly white school in first grade. And Lily's parents, I can't believe you remember this.
Girl, I remember because I'm like, my baby is going to be the Lily.
Yeah.
My baby is the Lily.
Exactly. That's another reason why we tell this story. But Lily's parents emailed the whole class, all of the parents in the class, and
it was so gangster. It was so
Lily's parents said, greetings. Basically, our family is going to be sailing the Caribbean islands for the next 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years, y'all. 3 to 4 years. And we just wanted to make sure that we stay connected. Lily very sad to leave all her friends at this particular school. This is our blog. This is our email. And they had the nerve to end with fair winds. I'm going to say the G family. I'm not going to give their last name. The G family.
Flip side.
And so, do you see how your perception of financial freedom changes? How the hell can you get on a boat for 4 years? How? And don't even know, 3 to 4 years maybe.
We're not even sure.
Maybe. We might stay 5. You know what I mean? And so, imagine Lily's perspective when she gets our age. And so, when we talk about creating equity, that's the reason, because they have a 400-year head start, right? And so I'm sure it's probably the G's family's generation before them
that set them up
set them up to sail the Caribbean islands for 3 to 4 years. I'm like, Lily don't need a teacher.
listen, Lily don't need a classroom. The world is about to be her classroom.
Exactly. I wonder where she is now. Ty's 11.
Still on that damn boat because COVID happened and they said, baby, we not coming off of this boat.
The boat was called the Magnolia.
Girl.
She's on the Magnolia.
I love it for Lily.
She's on the Magnolia.
Let's just pause. We're going to do a little moment of silence. Okay. May we all create Lilies. Yes. Y'all. Like, seriously. Because
I might name my daughter Lily.
Well, I ain't gonna go that far, but she gonna have the spirit of Lily up in her, okay? Because seriously, exposing our children you see it stuck with me all these years later. I remember the little girl name.
That was like 3 or 4 years ago, and I've been speaking in Ohio back home where I'm from every 2 weeks for the past couple of months. My best friend has a parent enrichment program trying to reach the parents to reach the kids, and I make sure I talk about Lily because when I ask what's financial freedom, the number one answer I hear is putting our bills on auto pay. You know, and that's like
that's what people are aspiring to.
That's the ceiling, and that's amazing. That's amazing, but they've been that's nothing to them. You know what I mean? And so I that's the reason why we talk about it, because for me, money, I like to see money as a brick. You know, and once you stack your bricks and you continue to stack your bricks and flip your bricks, then you'll be on a boat.
Then you'll be on a boat, baby. Sailing the world.
Right.
Fair wind.
We have to change our mindset.
Have to. Because, again, like you said, if you have never... And I have, Lily is not a little black girl, so I have not necessarily seen someone who looks like me doing the thing. But just for me to know it's possible.
Yeah.
Just for me to know it's possible, it's like you have something greater to aspire to.
Yeah. And so we're resourceful people.
We are.
We are hard.
We are. We just have to just show us it's possible, and we'll figure out a plan. We'll figure out a plan.
Exactly.
So with all of the talks of this recession, the dreaded R word that everybody is just clutching their pearls, what is your advice? With your MIT analysis, what is your advice for, should people be weary right now? Should people be saving their money and stacking for deal? Like, what's your advice?
I think you should be budgeting, first of all. And if you do own, take advantage of the equity, because we are about to hit recession, but the values are still high. The market is still high. The interest is high too, right? But the values are going down and the interest is going up. I think the Feds told us we got at least 3.5% more coming before the end of the year. So if you're looking at 5% interest rates, it's going to be 8. So take the money out and don't spend it.
Take it out and don't
take it out and do not spend it. I would say invest it into something that is
not crypto. Would you say invest into crypto, baby? Them people done lost. I'm them people. Okay, I ain't know what I was doing.
Not volatile, yeah. Something that's a little more foolproof, I like to say.
Did you lose some money, India?
I did not.
You did not. She said, I'm staying with the real estate, baby.
Yeah, I was studying and trying to go to class. I couldn't follow it.
Me either. That's why I should have kept my little money to myself. But you know what? I put money in there that I wasn't planning on getting right back out. So I'm just gonna, girl, may the force be with that money. Okay, that money is just for my baby at this point. It's just gonna stay there forever.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll turn back around.
Yeah, it has to
when he's grown.
Well, all the markets are cyclical, so they gotta go up. They gotta come down.
We're just waiting on them coming back up.
Yeah.
You just mentioned though that you were involved in 2 real estate deals on the same day. Somebody watching this was like, "But how?" Kime was like, "But how?" Like, how? I was like, "But how?" How is that possible? Because again, for most people, we cannot even wrap our mind around that being a thing for us. So I'm sure that credit is part of it. But
Absolutely.
what are the pieces of that puzzle?
Absolutely. So the buyer was acquiring 2 buildings together, and I basically lumped them together as a package deal, and that's how I was wholesaling them to him. And so baby, I'm gonna shake you down. I'm a negotiation queen. So I had got the seller down so low to where the 2 buildings were almost the price of 1. And so that's why when I got them down so low, that's when I was like, sorry.
Stop answering that dude phone call.
It's no longer for sale. Right, I kept it. But on the flip side, business credit. I bought the property in my business name using an SEC loan. I mean, SBA.
SBA loan.
Listen, it's finals. So think about basketball game. SBA loan. And so that's something that you have access to if you have business credit, right? SBA loan.
Right. We don't know. I don't know. Is it?
Yeah.
How? Tell them, India, how do you have access to it?
Because you got good business credit, you go to SBA and you ask for the money. And the interest rate was so low, it was like 3.2%. And guess what? It's still not in repayment. And I bought that in December of 2020. And it was supposed to be in a year, the repayment starts. So it's free and clear for now. But when the repayment starts, I do have to make a payment on the building, but it's from the SBA.
So many people in the Black community are late to the party when it comes to these resources. And when we show up to the party, we think it's a scam. Mm-hmm. How many people thought that EIDL money was a scam and missed out? Baby! Thank you. Listen, y'all are all right with me. You know, you are all right with me, okay? But I had my paperwork together. You have to have the things in order to make it happen. But so many of us miss out on these resources because we just think.
My biggest thing right now is stability and credibility. Stability and credibility. And so even with swim suites, when they come in, the beauty pros come in, they have a bunch of courses that are free to them so that they legitimize their business and they set themselves up to be able to get funding. This is the thing about the bank. If they don't give you money, they're going to go out of business, right? They want to give you the money, but you need to legitimize. You need to show that you're stable and that you're credible. And that's all that business credit is. That's all that credit is, period. It's credibility. Can you pay on time? So the SBA says, okay, looks like she pays on time. Here you go. Here's the money for your buildings. Yeah, I didn't go through traditional lending. I actually still haven't used my FHA loan. I know. 14 units, and I have not use my FHA. I'm trying to be very strategic about it.
Trying. You are being very strategic. That's amazing. So let's talk really quickly about different avenues of getting into real estate. Wholesaling, you briefly mentioned, but what are some other ways for people who may have a SBA loan that they're ready to do something with or something? What are some avenues that they can consider?
I think the biggest thing right now is like JV and joint venturing. And I bought those buildings with my business partner. And we own Swim Capital. Her name is Shania Wilson. I'm India Monae, hence the name Swim. In Swim Suites.
Got you. Okay.
Yes. So we bought the buildings and then we opened up Swim Suites. But JV, collaborating, I can scale so much faster. You know what I mean? Like, it really changed my life. Like, I was able to buy 11 units at one time because of the joint venture. So that's something that it's non-traditional. We don't think about. How can I get into this faster? Find somebody with some money. Or they have the knowledge and you got the money, or vice versa. Or they have credit and you have the money. Y'all both need the knowledge. Let me take that back. Y'all both need the knowledge. I had somebody DM me the other day and was like, you know what? I went into a deal. I'm in a couple of deals with one of my friends, but she just knows more than me and I just feel like she's being shady. Can you please mentor me?
Find time to ask, ma'am.
Right.
I mean, better late than never.
She needs to get the knowledge, you know, so that you can't
don't
be
get
played.
taken advantage of.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't get played. And so JVing is a great way to get started in real estate, whether it's single family, multifamily. It's okay to buy a single family with your friend or your cousin or your granny and put it on Airbnb. And y'all split the profits. You know what I mean? It's a start.